Hey everyone, I'm Eric Morley from Blue Sea. Today we're at OC Motorcycle doing a quick review of a couple of their motorcycles. The one I really want to pick up is the Triumph Bonneville T100. Me personally, I love the Triumph. I've had many Triumphs in the past. I currently have a 2007 Triumph Bonneville, fully carbureted. The difference is this is fuel injected. I changed mine into a desert sled because we typically like to do rides down to Baja, Mexico. A couple weeks ago I took some friends down. We did both street and dirt there, did about 50 miles of dirt, and the rest was street to get there. The Triumph held up great. On my side is I changed suspension, I changed the wheels, I put skid plates on it, did a bunch of accessories on it. The beauty thing about the Triumph is there's so many accessories available, and so it's not like you're buying a motorcycle where you've got to find different things or custom make or grind or make things happen. The thing I like about the 2022 is more power. You know, the thing is it's 8 more horsepower than last year. It still has the classic look. I really like the detail that Triumph always does, because they even use like the legacy bars across the fender, which still makes it have this particular kind of legacy look, but also kind of the modernization is the new LED light. Where I have a traditional light, which I've actually changed out to Baja Designs lights, but this here is so much better, especially for any kind of roads nationwide if you're going through fog or rain or dew or mist. This actually breaks through. The other thing I like on mine is I have the old school gauges. There's no digital at all. Obviously 2007 was BD, before digital. These are the mix of, still has that classic design, but it also has all the digital on it, so you can actually see, read, and so forth. I do like that they stayed core to their traditional mirrors. They didn't sway away from that. The thing I do like about this too is Triumph always has a bigger seat. I typically slide seats, so I'll start like highway here. When I'm actually going into any kind of road that has a little tricky, little gravel, so forth, I typically ride the front of the seat, but if I'm going power around the hills, I'll go to the back of the seat and do the lean-to on it. So I like this kind of seat, and it's interesting because the 2022 seat, to me, it seems a little bigger than the previous ones. I've changed my seat out because I do like the aftermarket seat, which is a little longer for that. The other thing I like is they stayed with the classic look, the legacy look. It doesn't sway away from what Triumph was really made from, but they've also focused on making it more powerful. We got the Brembo brake up front, which is really nice, and still keeping with the classic exhaust. One of the things that's interesting is on mine is my pegs run parallel to the front pegs. Makes it very, very, very uncomfortable for a second rider. So what they did is they actually lifted it up, which is nice. And so you're going to get one rider like this and one rider like this. What's the value of that is you're not bumping helmets as you're going down the street. So that's my kind of quick review. I do like this. It's interesting because a previous year is they actually created this little funky thing that actually made it look like it was actually a carbureted Triumph Bonneville, but it really wasn't. It was fuel injected, so they used the fake carburetors back here, but they actually put a little shield here to make it look a little still sporty. Overall in all, I'm really looking forward to trying this one out. Last one I rode was a Triumph 2020, which was a great bike. It just didn't have the power I wanted. And I'm very much, when I go into corners, I love to power out of corners. And especially when you're doing twisty and windy roads in Mexico, is you really need to have that power to get in and out of corners. So I'm really interested about this. This does peak out at 7,000 RPM, which is great. So that's my quick review. Hope you enjoy it and look forward to riding it now. So. impressions. I gotta tell you, I took this thing, we did about 10 miles, 12 miles or so, and I was actually very impressed. The power is, the low end torque is very, very strong. It's very smooth. I tend to like to power out of curves, and especially rights, and this is just, it's very solid. You just touch on the gas and you go. Fifth gear really acts like an overdrive on this in the city, and it's definitely strong. I like the ergonomics on this better than my bike. I think they actually adjusted this a little better because I typically ride right here, but it's interesting because on this bike I was actually riding right here, which is really the right place to ride. So that's a big difference. The other thing is I typically touch and go on the front brake, and on mine is and I've changed the brakes out on mine, so it's top of the line right now, but this is just so much better. You just tap it and it just connects instantly, where mine's a little, the power band on the brake is a little different on it. Suspension wise, no problem at all. I think this is a really good bike for not only people that have been riding for a long time, but also people that are just looking to get into riding. I have no dislikes for this bike. Actually, the only dislike I have with it is when you're hitting the sun, is the digital dials are a little tough to read, but you really don't have to worry about that because you also have the power gauges, the traditional gauges to see too, so that was good. Good sized gas tanks, so you don't have to refill each time, which is a definite plus. I mean, this is a winner in my book. Would I buy it? Yes, I would buy it. I'm not in the market for another Bonneville, but if I was, this would be it.